The Kodaikanal Wildlife Sanctuary sits high in the green hills of southern India. This place feels ancient and calm. The air is cool and clean against your skin. The views stretch out for miles, showing you long, rolling ridges and deep, misty valleys where clouds drift slowly like great white ships. You can see the world from up here. This land is not just one thing, it changes as you walk. In some parts you find tall, dense forests where sunlight struggles to touch the ground. In others, the land opens up into wide grassy slopes where animals can graze. There are also rocky cliffs and wet, marshy patches that hold water for the creatures that live here. This incredible mix of habitats makes it a perfect home for a huge variety of wildlife. These hills cradle magnificent forests. The trees stand tall, like silent guardians, offering shade from the sun, providing food for countless animals. Their branches are home to birds. One of the most special animals you can see here is the Nilgiri Tahr. This creature is a type of wild goat, perfectly adapted to a life on steep, rocky slopes. The tahr has short, coarse brown fur that helps it blend in with the rocks and grasses. The males, known as bucks, have thick, curved horns that they use to show their strength. You will often find them perched on high, rocky cliffs where few other animals can go. They move with incredible grace and confidence, leaping from one narrow ledge to another as if they were dancing. A much larger and more powerful resident of these hills is the Indian bison, which is correctly called the Gaur. This is a massive, muscular animal, one of the largest wild cattle in the world. It has a dark, almost black body, a distinctive high hump on its shoulders, and light-colored stockings on its legs. The Gaur is an herbivore, feeding on grass. The Asian elephant is one of the largest and most intelligent animals you can find in the Kodaikanal Wildlife Sanctuary. Largest, most intelligent. These gentle giants need a vast amount of space, food and water to survive. They move in close-knit family groups led by an older, experienced female known as the matriarch. Their diet is varied. They eat grasses, leaves, bark, fruits and roots, using their strong trunks to pull down branches or dig up plants. Elephants follow ancient paths through the forest, often traveling long distances to find food and water sources like streams and pools. You have the best chance of seeing one near a water body in the early morning or late evening. Deep within the densest parts of the forest lives the most elusive and powerful predator, the Bengal tiger. To survive, it needs a large territory with plenty of cover for hiding and a healthy population of prey animals like deer and wild boar. Tigers are solitary and primarily active at dawn and dusk, which is when they do most of their hunting. They move with a silent, deliberate grace that makes them almost impossible to spot. Elephants have an incredible memory and complex social lives. They are known to mourn their dead, returning to the bones of a deceased family member years later to gently touch them with their trunks. They also play a crucial role as gardeners of the forest. As they travel and eat, they disperse seeds over large areas in their dung. The tiger's role as an apex predator is absolutely essential. By hunting animals like Sambar deer and wild boar, tigers help to control their populations. The tiger, therefore, helps maintain the delicate balance of nature. High up in the canopy of the forest, you will find troops of langurs. These are long, slender monkeys with grey fur, black faces, and incredibly long tails that they use for balance. Langurs are very agile and spend most of their lives in the trees, leaping gracefully from one branch to another. They are herbivores, and their diet consists mainly of leaves. Another remarkable tree dweller is the grizzled giant squirrel. This is not your average garden squirrel. It is one of the largest squirrels in the world, with a long, bushy tail and powerful limbs for climbing. Its fur has a distinctive grizzled or salt and pepper appearance. The Indian leopard is another master climber, though it is far more secretive than the squirrels or monkeys. This big cat is smaller and more slender than a tiger, but it is incredibly strong and adaptable. Leopards are excellent tree climbers and often use branches to rest during the day or to store their kills safely away from other scavengers. Down on the ground, hidden in the undergrowth, life is just as busy. Wild boars are common residents of the forest floor. These sturdy animals use their tough snouts to root through the soil, searching for roots. Wild boars are usually found in groups called sounders and can move surprisingly fast when they need to. Moving more quietly through the forest are the Sambar deer. This is the largest deer species in India, with a shaggy brown coat and impressive antlers on the males. Sambar deer are shy and gentle creatures. Another fascinating ground dweller is the Indian porcupine. When a porcupine feels threatened, it raises its quills to appear larger and more intimidating. Porcupines are nocturnal, meaning they are most active at night. They spend their days resting in burrows. A truly wild and exciting sound to hear in the sanctuary is the call of the Dhole, also known as the Indian wild dog. Dholes are social animals that live and hunt in large packs. They communicate with a series of whistles. A walk in the Kodaikanal Wildlife Sanctuary is like reading a story that unfolds slowly with every step you take. To get the most out of your experience, it is best to start early in the day. The morning light is soft and golden, casting long shadows through the trees. In these quiet hours, you are most likely to hear the forest waking up with a chorus of bird calls, and perhaps see deer grazing peacefully in a grassy meadow before the heat of the day sets in. Stay on the marked trails. These paths guide you through the most scenic areas while keeping both you and the wildlife safe. Do not shout, do not play loud music. Move slowly, stop often, and just listen and watch quietly. Walk slowly so animals can get used to your presence, which prevents them feeling threatened. Photography is a wonderful way to capture the beauty of the Kodaikanal Wildlife Sanctuary, but it should always be done with respect for the animals. Use a camera with a good zoom lens. Take photos from a safe and respectful distance. Avoid using a flash. One of the most important rules is to keep your food packed away securely, and never ever feed the wild animals. Feeding wildlife is incredibly harmful. Human food can make them sick. It also changes their natural behavior. Animals that get used to being fed can become aggressive. Practice leave no trace. Everything you bring in, you must carry back out. Plastic pollution is a serious threat to wildlife. Small animals and birds can mistake pieces of plastic for food. Do not take anything from the sanctuary. By leaving everything as you found it, you help preserve the sanctuary for future generations. The Kodaikanal Wildlife Sanctuary is much more than just a destination for tourists. It is a protected home for countless species, and it serves as a critical outdoor laboratory for scientists and researchers. Forest rangers patrol the vast area. One of the greatest threats to this sanctuary is the loss and fragmentation of habitat. As human populations grow, houses, farms, plantations expand, slowly eating away at the edges of the forest. New roads and infrastructure can cut through the sanctuary, dividing the land into smaller, isolated pieces. This fragmentation makes it very difficult for large, wide-ranging animals like elephants and tigers to move freely in search of food. Protecting these wildlife corridors is essential for the long-term survival of these species. Another serious threat is poaching, which is the illegal hunting of animals. Every visitor has a responsibility to be mindful of their impact. Conservation is about simple ideas put into powerful action. The future of the sanctuary depends on the collective care of all who love it. The Kodaikanal Wildlife Sanctuary is a place that invites you to slow down, to take slow steps and deep breaths, to simply watch and to listen. Unplug from the modern world, reconnect with something more ancient and fundamental. It is a living classroom. See firsthand how every part of nature fits together. Walk with reverence and respect. Share the peace and wonder you find here. When you tell the story of your visit, emphasize why this sanctuary matters. Animals, the health of our planet, the human spirit. When you leave this green sanctuary, carry a promise in your heart. Promise to help keep the forest a safe and thriving home for the Nilgiri Tahr. Promise to help keep the forest a safe and thriving home for the Gaur. Promise to help keep the forest a safe and thriving home for the elephant. Promise to help keep the forest a safe and thriving home for the tiger. Promise to help keep the forest a safe and thriving home for the leopard. Promise to teach others, especially children.